My wife, 33 years old, and I, 38 years old, have been together for 12 years. Her family's love language is to gossip when you're not in the room. They criticized me for the first 2 years we were together because I was from a different state. It was strange. I had never been treated like that before. I quickly noticed that they talked about others as well. Close family friends, cousins. My mother-in-law is the one who starts it all, as it seems like the only way she can find things to talk about at all. We moved across the country and have had many ups and downs with her family because of all the gossiping. One of my brothers-in-law has distanced himself from the family and cut off contact with his mom. My wife can't stand her mom. She is always super annoyed by her and can't be in the same room with her for more than 30 minutes. But they still have FaceTime calls for an hour every week, talk, text, send gifts, etc. She hates it but can't distance herself from it because she's worried that if she doesn't participate in the family activities, they will talk badly about her when she's not there. Fun fact, they talk badly about us no matter what we do. She also tries to say that my family is just as bad, but they're not. We also only interact with them about 2% as much as we do with my wife's family. My family is very independent. Now we have a baby, and my wife is trying to force us to make regular visits to them. Red-eye flights across the country with a toddler for 2-3 days at a time. Her reasoning, it's for the baby to get to know them. WTF? They don't deserve time with the baby, and I'm tired of the toxic drama. But she insists it's for the baby's benefit when a trip like this only disrupts the baby's sleep schedule. I'm so confused by that reasoning. Their last visit to us was for my baby's first birthday. My wife was so anxious and paranoid about their visit that she became unbearable all weekend. Most of it was directed at me. I refused to be a part of it this time. Anytime she came to me to tell me I was doing something wrong because she was worried her mom might have something to say about it, I told her directly, I don't care. It doesn't matter to me what they think. The night of our baby's first birthday, my wife tried to end our marriage because I wasn't being a supportive partner. Now she wants to force all of us, including our toddler, onto flights to visit people she hates, and I'm refusing to go. It will disrupt the baby's schedule and only lead to arguments all weekend. It also makes her act weird, angry, aggressive, and paranoid when around them. Plus, I just become a babysitter because her family loses interest in the baby after a couple of hours, and my wife has to do everything they're doing and be everywhere they are. We become an afterthought. Am I the jerk for not being more supportive and going on this trip? Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. Your wife needs some therapy to help her understand she can give herself permission to go low or no contact with her mother. Her response is one that has been ingrained in her for her entire life. It's likely a form of PTSD from all the toxicity in the home she grew up in. Not to leave out her paranoia and self-esteem issues stemming from the same toxic environment. Why would you ever want to expose your child to that? Not the idiot. Comment 2. Not the idiot. Your best bet is probably marriage counseling. That is not a group you want to have a significant influence on your child. Communicating that to your wife without professional help doesn't seem to be getting through, or if it is, her attachment issues are overriding it. Your wife has a lot of childhood issues to work out. To be fair, we all do. Now, for the update, thanks for all the comments on my last post. Well, things have escalated since then. My wife booked the flights without telling me, and when I found out, it was like a bomb went off in our house. I was furious, and we had a huge fight. She said I was being unreasonable and that her family had a right to see their grandchild. I couldn't believe she went behind my back. During the trip, it was worse than I imagined. The baby was fussy the whole time, and my wife was on edge. Her family was their usual selves, making snide comments. But then her sister dropped a bombshell. She's getting a divorce. Turns out her husband had been having an affair with one of her friends. The whole family was in shock, and suddenly all the attention was on her. My wife was sucked into the drama, trying to support her sister, and I was left to manage the baby on my own. When we got back, things didn't settle down. My wife's sister moved in with us temporarily because she couldn't stand being in the same house as her soon-to-be ex-husband. Our home turned into a war zone, with her crying at all hours and my wife trying to be there for her. I felt like an outsider in my own home. Then my brother-in-law, the one who had cut off contact with the family, showed up out of the blue. He had heard about the divorce and wanted to make amends with the family. It was a complete turnaround, and everyone was walking on eggshells, not sure how to handle his return. My wife was over the moon that her brother was back, but I couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. The next thing I knew, my mother-in-law announced she was moving closer to us to be near her grandchildren. My wife was thrilled, but I was dreading it. Her moving closer meant more unannounced visits, more meddling, and more gossip. But my wife said it would be good for the baby to have her grandmother nearby. Amidst all this, my wife's behavior towards me changed. She was more distant, and I could tell she was keeping something from me. One night, I overheard her talking to her sister about how she felt trapped in our marriage and that she envied her sister's newfound freedom. I was stunned. I thought we were in this together, but it seemed like she was having second thoughts about us. I confronted her about it, and she broke down, admitting she felt overwhelmed by everything. The family drama, the baby, our marriage. She said she didn't know if she could do it anymore. I was at a loss. I wanted to support her, but I also felt betrayed. In the end, we agreed to go to couples therapy. It was her idea, and I figured it was the least I could do to try and save our marriage. The therapist suggested we set boundaries with her family and work on our communication. It seemed to be helping, and things were slowly improving. But then her mother moved into her new place, and my wife started spending more time with her. She said it was to help her settle in, but I could see the old patterns emerging. She was getting caught up in the family gossip again, and I could tell it was affecting her mood. I realized that no matter what, my wife would always be tied to her family's drama. It was a terrible situation, but I had accepted it. I loved her, and if this was what it took to keep our family together, then so be it. I just hope that in time we could find a balance that worked for us. Thanks for reading. My sister books her wedding on the same day as mine out of jealousy. So I cancel my cheating fiance's big day and plan the ultimate payback by revealing their affair at her ceremony. I, 30-year-old female, and my boyfriend, 30-year-old male, are unofficially engaged. When we started dating in 2022, we discussed marriage, kids, etc., and figured we'd probably want to get married in 2025. At the start of this year, my boyfriend asked to go ring shopping, but wants to surprise me with a proposal, so we're holding off on an official announcement. The thing is, we've been really excited and talking about it a lot to the point where we accidentally started planning the wedding. I know it sounds bizarre, but honestly, we've enjoyed laying the framework in secret because there were no outside opinions, and the big decisions would be fait accompli by the time we announce it. Also, when he told his family that we were ring shopping, his sister-in-law said it was weird that we were ring shopping before being engaged, so we're not keen to be told that we're being weird again. My sister, 33-year-old female, and her fiancé, 34-year-old male, got engaged 2 years ago, and there were no wedding plans. But last year, she mentioned potentially doing it in 2025 and told us to block out June, September. Maybe I should have said something then, but it seemed a bit silly and obnoxious to be like, I think I'm getting married then too, when we really hadn't made that commitment, and she was the one who was engaged. Now to where I might be the jerk. My boyfriend found the perfect venue, and the only viable date they had was in August, so we provisionally booked it. While talking to my sister last night, she said she is now thinking about August, so I had to tell her. She got angry because she'd already told everyone not to make plans for those months so that we can be available for her wedding. I suggested she could choose another month since she hasn't planned anything, but I got engaged first, so I should have the first choice. She also says planning a wedding at the same time will split the family's attention, which is bad for both of us, so I should wait until after her wedding to get engaged. But that's a no from me. Her final argument, and the only one that makes me question my decision, is that it's cruel to do this, considering I know how long she waited to be able to have her moment, and this is really important to her. She and her fiancé had been together for 10 years before he proposed, and I know she'd been waiting for at least 5 of those years. I don't want to hurt my sister, but I really don't see the issue. Yes, it's not the ideal situation, but she's having 20 guests at a destination wedding in Italy, while we're having a traditional wedding with 150 guests in the town where I grew up. There won't be guest overlap apart from the immediate family, so as long as it's not on the same day, it should be fine, right? The venue we chose really is perfect for what we want, and I'll be away for work for a big chunk of the year, so the date is ideal. We could cancel and search for a different venue, but I really don't want to unless I'm being the jerk here. My family know now, but none of them want to get involved, so am I the idiot? Now for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. Everyone sucks here. Not only have you completely ignored what your sister said regarding dates, but going to weddings is expensive, so those guests going to both your family are going to have to fork out twice in a relatively short period of time. I do think that asking people to block out 3 months to be a wedding guest is excessive. If it's in reference to your booking a wedding, then fair enough. If you knew that you intended to get married next year, I'm not sure why you didn't say anything sooner when she said that she was. Comment 2. You're the idiot, change your date. Your sister will also want a decent honeymoon. We had one of the groomsmen of my wedding get married the weekend after ours. We had our dates in well before theirs. It changed our options and cut down what we did. You're also talking about family having to go overseas and then rush back for your wedding. Maybe they would like to spend time after the wedding in Italy or somewhere else in Europe themselves. You haven't put over $. Change your date. Now for the update, thanks for sticking around for the latest. So much has happened since my last post. After the whole venue fiasco, things went from bad to worse. My sister, in a fit of rage, decided to book her wedding on the exact same day as ours. She claimed it was the only date her dream venue in Italy had available. Talk about a nightmare. Our parents were torn, relatives were picking sides, and the family group chat was a war zone. I was fuming. How could she do this to me? But then my best friend found out something that turned the tables. My sister's fiancé had been cheating on her, and the Italian venue? A complete lie. She wanted to sabotage my wedding out of pure jealousy. When the truth came out, my sister's world fell apart. Her engagement was off, and suddenly, she was the one everyone pitied. I should have felt victorious, but instead, I felt hollow. The family drama had taken its toll, and the joy of planning our wedding was tainted. My boyfriend and I decided to postpone our wedding, not wanting our special day to be associated with such bitterness. But life has a funny way of kicking you when you're down. My boyfriend, the man I thought I'd spend my life with, had his own secrets. Turns out, he was the one my sister's fiancé was cheating with. I was blindsided. The man I loved, the man I was planning a future with, had betrayed me in the worst possible way. The aftermath was brutal. I called off the engagement, moved out of our shared apartment, and was left picking up the pieces of my shattered life. My sister and I, both victims of the men we loved, found solace in each other's company. We were rebuilding our relationship, slowly but surely. As for my ex-boyfriend, he tried to apologize, to explain, but I couldn't bear to hear his excuses. He lost not just me, but the respect of our friends and family. His actions had consequences, and he was learning that the hard way. In the end, I learned that life doesn't always go as planned, and people aren't always who they seem to be. But from the ashes of betrayal and heartache, I found strength I never knew I had. And maybe, just maybe, that's worth more than any wedding could ever be. Thanks for reading. My best friend steals the designer purse I wanted, so I skip her birthday and sell the purse for a trip without her. I'm a 22-year-old and love thrift shopping. Almost my entire wardrobe and accessories are thrifted. I love finding pieces from expensive brands that I normally could never come close to affording. Because of thrifting, I have slowly built a really nice wardrobe over the years, including some good designer pieces and also some really nice homewares. It's my biggest hobby, so I've also studied authentication, which is super interesting to me. This morning, I was thrifting at Goodwill with my lifelong friend Anna, who is 21 years old. We've thrifted together before, and she's not super into it but enjoys it on occasion. She comes from a wealthier family than me, so she tends to buy nice things new more often. When I thrift with other people, I always look for things they'd like. So this morning, I found a bunch of nice things for her, and after trying them on, she ended up getting quite a few of the items. For myself, I ended up finding a pretty dress and a designer purse that would be worth around $600-800 if it were new. Before leaving Goodwill, I had to pee really bad. This part might be too much information, but I have a urinary tract infection right now, so I especially didn't want to hold it. So before we went to pay, I asked Anna if she could hold my things so I could use the bathroom. And she said, okay. In hindsight, this was a really stupid thing to do, but I didn't realize it at the time. When I came out of the bathroom, I didn't see Anna, but the dress I was buying was on the ground near the bathroom. When I looked around, I saw Anna finishing up at the cash register, and I quickly realized she had bought the purse. I confronted her and told her she knew I was going to buy that, and she said I left it with her, and it was thrifting etiquette that if you leave an item behind, someone else might buy it. I said I didn't leave it behind. I asked someone I trusted to hold it knowing I'd come out of the bathroom to buy it. When we went out to the car, it turned into an argument, and it was the first time Anna and I have ever argued. I told her she was being a really bad friend and that I found it, and she didn't even look in the purse section herself. She kept saying that if you leave something behind in a thrift store, it's fair game for others, and that I find designer pieces all the time, so it shouldn't matter. Not true, it's rare to find designer pieces, but people think I find them all the time because I go to thrift stores more often than most people. I told Anna not to contact me unless she was giving me the bag back that she took. I made it clear that I am more than happy to Venmo her the money she spent on it, since that's what I was going to spend. Anna's birthday party is tomorrow night at her mom's house. I baked a cake and helped with most of the planning. Anna's freaking out at me, so I texted her mom that I drop off the cake since it's already made, but I'm not coming or helping. Anna keeps calling and texting, saying I'm being petty over a bag. Am I the idiot? Now for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. Not the idiot. Thrift etiquette or whatever would apply if you left it behind back on the shelves. Not when you ask your friend to hold it for you after you explicitly expressed your will to purchase the item. She is your friend, right? I can't imagine any of my friends doing that. She sounds very childish with her mentality being like finders keepers, losers weepers logic. She even put the dress you were going to buy on the floor. I think your friend just showed her true colors. Comment 2. You're not the idiot. Thrift store etiquette, if it exists, would be not snatching things away from others and not trying to haggle prices at a nonprofit organization. Decent friend behavior is a thing, and unfortunately, Anna did not read that chapter of her manners book. Lose the friend, keep the cake. Now, for the update, thank you for sticking around for more of my thrift drama. So much has happened since my last post, it's been pretty up and down. The day after the Goodwill incident, I dropped off the cake at Anna's mom's place. Her mom was really confused about why I wasn't coming to the party. I didn't want to spill everything, but I ended up telling her a bit about the argument. She seemed to take Anna's side, saying things like, "It's just a purse and you girls shouldn't fight over such small things." I left feeling pretty low. Later that evening, I got a text from Anna. She was furious that I'd talked to her mom. She said I was trying to turn her family against her. I didn't mean to do that, but I guess I just wanted someone to understand my side. We didn't talk after that, and I spent the night feeling pretty alone. The next day I was at home when I heard a knock on the door. It was Anna's brother, Mike. We've known each other since we were kids, but we're not close or anything. He had the designer purse with him. He said Anna had been crying all night after the party, and he thought this might fix things. I was shocked. I didn't expect her to give it up, especially after how mad she was. I invited Mike in, and we ended up talking for a while. He told me about how Anna's been stressed with her family's expectations and how she's always compared to me because I'm more independent. I never knew she felt that way. It made me see the whole situation differently. I decided to go see Anna. I took the purse with me, and when she opened the door, she looked like she'd been crying. We both apologized. I told her I didn't need the purse, that our friendship was more important. She insisted I take it, saying she didn't even like it that much. She just got caught up in the moment. We talked about everything, and it turns out she's been feeling really jealous of my thrifting finds. She said she always felt like I was the one who got lucky with things, and she just wanted to have that feeling for once. I had no idea she felt that way. We both cried and hugged it out. But here's the thing, I didn't take the purse back. Instead, I sold it online and split the money with Anna. We used it to go on a little trip together, just the two of us. It was like when we were kids. No stress, no jealousy, just two friends having fun. It's funny how things work out. That purse caused so much trouble, but in the end, it brought us closer. We've promised to be more open with each other about our feelings, and I think we're both better for it. Thanks for reading about my little slice of life. It's been pretty hard on us, but I'm glad for where things ended up. If you like this video, you'll probably like these too. Also, while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's your support that keeps this channel alive and allows me to make better and longer videos. Have a great day.